Hello, welcome to your handy lesson of today. Today we're going to talk about connected speech. We're going to go through different contents. First, the definition of connected speech, then the features of connected speech, which are assimilation, elision, catenation, intrusion, and weak forms. Let us talk about the definition of connected speech. Well, we have to say that we, as non-native speakers, usually have a problem when we listen to native speakers, because we tend to say that native speakers speak really fast. This happens not because they are really speaking fast, but because they're connecting the words when they speak. This is something we do not do in Spanish. In Spanish, we say the words, we pronounce word by word on their own pronunciation of each word. But in English, when we put words together, we start changing pronunciation because we're connecting the sounds of the words together. This is called connected speech. You can read the definition when it says connected speech is a spoken language in a continuous sequence, as in normal conversation. This is what makes a difference between a person who's speaking proper English and a person who is not speaking proper English. So we should master connected speech in order to not only pronounce the words in a better way, but also to improve our listening skill. So this is basically what connected speech is. Let us talk now about the different features of connected speech. First, assimilation. Assimilation, as the definition says, it is a general term in phonetics for the process by which a speech sound becomes similar or identical to a neighboring sound, meaning one sound assimilates the next sound to create one new sound in the connection of words. We have then differences between partial assimilation and total assimilation. It says here, assimilation may be either partial or total. Alright, it will depend on how we connect the words. I recommend you to read this, and if you can click on the PDF where the words are in the link, the linked words are, you're going to be redirected to more information for this. But what about if we go straight to the example so you can see it in a better way? For example, we have basket maker. We must pay attention on the end sound of the first word, which is a t sound, basket, and the next sound, which is maker, right? The first sound is an sound, basket maker. When we pronounce this in the normal speech, we're actually putting together, changing the sound of a t, basket maker. Sometimes this t makes a sound, a change into b, basket maker. It can also change into basket maker. So if you see, the two sounds together will create a new one. Let us take a look at another example. For example, mixed blessing. If you see the last d and the next b, the d for mixed and b for blessing, mixed blessing, we do not pronounce that way. Mixed blessing. It can also sound as a schwa sound, mixed blessing. Alright, sometimes it could be. So this is basically what assimilation does. Let's take a look at here in the example that is impartial and total. Example. The phrase 10 bikes. Can you read? 10 bikes. If we were speaking Spanish, we will say 10 bikes. But in the normal colloquial speech, in the normal discourse, when we speak English, we might say 10 bikes. 10 bikes, not 10 bikes, which would sound somewhat weird, all right, in this case. In this case, the assimilation has been partial because the N sound for ten has fallen under the influence of the next sound, B, and it has adopted the bilabiality, right? Bilabiality. Sorry, I cannot pronounce this word. But you know what it means, the point that we use both lips to create a sound. And this makes another sound, which is m. Therefore, the B sound for bikes has assimilated the N sound for 10, creating a new sound, making it 10 bikes. 10 bikes. So that's how it would sound in the normal speaking. This is called assimilation. Let's go on to the next one. Elision. Elision literally means elimination, right? The definition is the omission of sounds. Let's take a look at this. This might happen in one word only, right? It happens also when we have two words connected sometimes, but mostly it happens in one word, in unique words. For example, the word never. Never. If we create it in a normal speech, we'll say never, ne'er, ne'er, or going to, which makes gonna, want to, which is wanna. Okay, let us say sometimes we as teachers say that gonna or wanna are contractions of going to or want to, but they are not contractions. They are really examples of elision. We have here this example, contraction versus elision. Okay, sometimes merely looking at a contraction and elision, we could think that they are the same. But it's not. For example, can't is a contraction of cannot, which is a combination of two words. Alright, can, not. On the other hand, elision is a specific term. It is the omission of sounds, right? Syllables or phrases. Sometimes we include an apostrophe. For example, in the word ne'er, we are including the apostrophe in the middle, and we are saying that we are eliminating the letter V, or the phone V, to create ne'er. Okay, gonna or wanna are also elision examples, because we are eliminating sounds. Alright, so this is elision. Let's go for catenation. Catenation has another name. It is also called linking. Alright, catenation, that its definition is one of the ways that we join words together. In catenation, a consonant sound at the end of a word joins with the next vowel. Let's go straight to the example. This is actually one of the most common examples for connected speech. Catenation. For example, the sentence or the phrase, an apple, sounds like an apple. Instead of saying an apple, it sounds like the end is connected to the next word. It's catenated to the next word or linked to the next word to sound an apple. Right? I'm just exaggerating there. In normal speech, it will sound like teacher. What is an apple? The next example is it's an egg. It sounds like a neck, not an egg. So, for example, it would sound like, I'd like an egg, please. I'd like an egg, please. Can you spot the difference? So this will be catenation or linking. Let's go on to the next example. The next feature of connected speech. Intrusion. Alright, intrusion. Intrusion is actually when we're speaking and connecting words, we are intruding sounds into the sentence or in the middle of two words in order for them to sound more natural. For example, well, before I say the examples, I will say which phones are the ones that are intruded. These phones are ya, wo, and Okay, these phones can be intruded into sentences just like the examples are explaining. For example, the first sentence is not at all. Right? I'm just saying word by word, not at all. But when we pronounce them, we say not at all. Therefore, this is called rhotic intrusion because the letter or the sound for letter is intruding here instead of the sound for t, which it will be the normal sound for not or at. All right, so it will be intruding there to say not at all, not at all. Then it will become an intruded rhotic example. Then we can intrude yeah. Let's take a look at this example. I agree. In the middle of I and agree, there is this sound yeah. I agree. I agree. Can you spot it? I agree. I agree. The same happens when we say they are here. They are. They are. Between they and are, there's this sound intruded. Yeah. They are here. They are here. The same happens with the sound wo. For example, I want to eat. Let's take a look at this. I want to eat. To eat. I want to eat. There's the sound wo. I want to eat. Please do it. We do not say please do eat. Please do it. There's that sound in the middle. Wo. Please do it. Please do it. Alright, so this is called intrusion. Let's go on to the next one, which are weak forms. Okay, weak forms, if there are weak forms, it means that there are strong forms. They are usually the words such as auxiliary verbs, alright, prepositions, pronouns, conjunctions. Because weak forms are those words in a sentence which are not that important for the meaning of a sentence itself, or the utterance in this case, because we are talking about speaking. So, these verbs, sometimes they do not have that importance in the meaning of the whole utterance. Usually when we do contractions such as, let's say, I have worked here for 10 years. That auxiliary verb have becomes into a contraction, making I've worked here for 10 years. Then the contraction for have becomes a weak form because it's not that emphasized and it's almost imperceptible when we speak. We say, I've worked here for 10 years. I've worked here for 10 years. That it's almost imperceptible and it goes fast there. That's a weak form. All right. So let us check out the examples here. Sometimes says weak forms are easy to spot because we use contractions in the spelling to show it. For example, a strong form will be I am French. Let's imagine we're saying this and somebody is saying I am French. By saying am, he's doing a strong form in am because he is doing an emphasis. But in a normal way, it will be I'm French. I'm French. Therefore, am becomes a weak form because there's no emphasis. It says here, but usually there's no change of spelling. Only the pronunciation is different. For example, the word but. Sometimes it can be a strong form if we give emphasis. And if you look at the phonemic scripting here, you see the symbol, the phoneme for o. But. But in the weak form, usually we use schwa sound. But. But. Therefore, the schwa sound is never stressed. Therefore, we say but. But if it will be stressed, then we will say but. Can you spot the difference? All right, let's take a look at the next example. Tell him to go. Let me say it word by word. Tell him to go. Strong forms will be on him and to. If I emphasize those two words, I will say, tell him to go. And that will be a different meaning than if I said, tell him to go. Can you spot that when I'm saying the weak form, I'm not emphasizing him and I'm not emphasizing to. I'm emphasizing tell, go, the verbs. Tell him to go. Tell him to go. So this is what creates the weak form. Now it is time to practice. I'm sure you will enjoy these two activities. So just click on the links for Kahoot and EduPlay. I would recommend you to click on the EduPlay video quiz. So this will be all for this video. This here are the references used for this PDF. See you in the next handy lesson.